Hi everyone. So today we're going to be doing this Countries of Europe logic quiz. This is one of the most popular logic quizzes on Sporcle. It's by Narayan85 and it has over 1 million plays. So we're going to have 25 countries that we have to figure out, and we're going to have 20 minutes to see if we can get it done. So let's go ahead and get started. Russia. All countries in row A were formerly part of Yugoslavia. Column 2, countries all start with B except E2. So the only hint that we know right now is A2, which is a country that was in former Yugoslavia, and it has to start with a B. So let's look up former Yugoslavia countries. And it looks like the only one that starts with a B is Bosnia and Herzegovina. I can never spell this one right, so we're going to put Bosnia and Herzegovina. And let's see what I spelled wrong. Herzegovina. Perfect. All countries in row B border Germany. Okay, so now we're going to be looking for a country that borders Germany and starts with a B, so we can fill in B2. So let's look for a map of Europe. We'll look at some pictures, and this one looks like it should have what we need. So the countries that border Germany are the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Switzerland, Austria, Czechia, Poland, and Denmark. So the answer has to be Belgium. All countries on the A1 to E5 diagonal, so A1 through E5, have capital cities starting with B. Okay, so A1, B2, C3, D4, and E5. We know that's true for Belgium because the capital is Brussels. The UK is in D1, so let's go ahead and put that there. The 5 European island nations are all in this quiz and form a diagonally connected chain. Okay, so the 5 European island nations are in this quiz and form a diagonally connected chain. So the UK is one of the European island nations, so we know that the diagonally connected chain has to start here, and it can either go up to C2 or it can go down to E2. Let's see what else we can try to figure out. All countries on the A1 to E5 diagonal have capital cities starting with B. All countries in row B border Germany. All countries in row A were formerly part of Yugoslavia. So I think we should be able to figure out A1, which is a country that has a capital city starting with a B and is formerly part of Yugoslavia. So let's go back to our list of former Yugoslavia countries. And we have Slovenia, Croatia. We already used this one. So I see that Serbia has a capital city, Belgrade, and it looks like that's the only one. So I'm going to come back here and put Serbia in A. Okay. No countries in row C are landlocked. So all these countries are connected to a body of water somewhere. C3 does not start with the letter R. So C3, we know that it does not start with an R, and it has a capital city starting with a B, and it is not landlocked. So, how many other countries in Europe have a capital city starting with a B? Romania, but remember we know that it doesn't start with an R. Switzerland, but we know that it is not landlocked, so it can't be Switzerland, and it also can't be Slovakia. Brussels is the capital city of Belgium, and that is not landlocked, but we've already used up Belgium. Iceland, the capital is Reykjavik. So I think that means the answer has to be Germany, with the capital city of Berlin. So I'm going to come to C3, and I'm going to type in Germany. Great. The countries vertically and horizontally adjacent to A5 both start with the letter C. Okay, so we're looking at A4 and B5. B5 starts with the letter C, and it also borders Germany. Can we narrow it down from there? It looks like Czechia is the only country that borders Germany and starts with a C. So that must be here in B5. Water from Czechia flows to the North Sea, Baltic Sea, and Black Sea. Okay, I don't think that's really a hint. I think that's just a fun fact. So let's see if we can also figure out A4. It starts with the letter C, and we also know that it is formerly part of Yugoslavia. So we still have that tab open. Let's see. So there's only one that starts with the letter C, and that's Croatia. So let's type in Croatia here. Okay, so now we know that Slovakia is not in this quiz, which is not one of our Yugoslavic countries, but that's okay because it helps us. It'll probably help us narrow something down. Okay, let's see if we can figure anything else out. The rest of our diagonal, we're looking for two more countries whose capital cities start with a B, and I think that Slovakia was one of them. Okay, so now we've eliminated Slovakia. So our other capital cities that start with a B, I think, are Switzerland, and it looks like Serbia, which I don't think we've used yet. But let's look up list of European capitals. So maybe I can get this listed by. Let's see if I can get this alphabetically by, that's where we just were. Okay, great. This is ordered by the capital city. So there are actually quite a few that still start with a B. We have Romania, Hungary, Budapest. Romania was Bucharest. We've already used Brussels. We know that Slovakia, so Bratislava is not in the quiz. Switzerland could still be in the quiz. We've already used Germany, and I forget if we used Serbia, and we did use Serbia. Okay, so I think that we still have too many left here for us to figure out which ones could go there. Let's see if we can figure anything else out with some of these other hints. No countries in row C are landlocked. I don't think we have any other hints about row C yet. All countries in row B border Germany, but I don't think we have any other hints about what could be in B1, B3, or B4. The countries vertically and horizontally adjacent to A5 both start with the letter C. Okay, we've already figured that one out. All countries in row A were formerly part of Yugoslavia. And the 5 European island nations are all in this quiz and form a diagonally connected chain. So that could still go in so many different directions. We could go C2 to D3, we could go E2 to D3. That's tough. I kind of want to say that it's C2 because we know that no countries in row C are landlocked, which would help. let's look up the 5 European island nations. We can also see if any of them start with the letter B. That would help us, because if it doesn't, then we know that the diagonally connected chain must go to E2, because column 2 countries all start with B except E2. So let's look up the 5 European island nations. So, Cyprus, Iceland, Republic of Ireland, Malta, and the United Kingdom. I don't remember, did any of those have a capital city starting with a B? Serbia, Germany, Switzerland, Slovakia, not in our quiz, Belgium, already in our quiz, Romania, Hungary. So none of those have a capital city starting with a B, which means that they're not D4 or E5. And none of them start with a B, which means that one of them must go here in E2. I am not seeing anything else that we can figure out right now. Well, we know that this is not landlocked and it starts with a B. So let's see what else starts with a B and is not landlocked. We have Bulgaria, and we have to be missing one other one, which I imagine is here, Belarus. But that is landlocked. So I think that B3 must be, C2 must be Bulgaria. Great. The Alps mountain range runs through three corners of this quiz. Let's see a map. Map of the Alps mountain range. A lot of times towards the end, this starts to get a lot easier, but I am definitely worried that we're running out of time because we only have 8 minutes left, and I only have 9 out of 25. So we might not do it this time. We might have to continue and not get it on try 1, which is fine. I would say that I very rarely ever get them on the first try, so they're just fun to eventually get right and keep working for. So, what did I say? The Alps mountain range runs through 3 corners of this quiz. Countries with the Alps mountain range. Austria, France, Germany, Italy, Liechtenstein, Monaco, Slovenia, and Switzerland. So I think that right now we can figure out A5, because we know that it's formerly a part of Yugoslavia, and it has to have the Alps, because Serbia is in one of our corners, and that wasn't on the list of countries with the Alps. So I think that Slovenia was the other one formerly Yugoslavic. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so I'm going to type Slovenia here. No countries in column 3 are landlocked. Italy is not in this quiz. Okay. That's good to know. So, Italy is not in the quiz. No countries in column 3 are landlocked. Let's see what we have left of our formerly Yugoslavic countries. Macedonia, that is landlocked. Slovenia, we just used. We've used Serbia. So, Montenegro, I think it has to be Montenegro here in A3 since it's not landlocked. Nice. Okay. This quiz contains 3 former Soviet countries which form a diagonally connected chain. So, former, Soviet countries. In Europe. So, it looks like that has, this is quite bright. Belarus, Estonia, Russia, of course, Moldova, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, I think is technically Asia. Okay, so I don't know if we have any of those in our quiz yet, but I think that this is Belarus. Nice. Okay, great. D4 is landlocked. Okay, so that helps because it has a capital city starting with a B and it's landlocked. I think we only have one of those left, and I think it's Switzerland. Oh, no. I got that wrong. What are our other capitals that are landlocked? Oh, Hungary, Romania. Okay, I forgot quite a few of them. And also, we have Belarus and Russia. And so D4 could have been something that's a post-Soviet state and has a capital of B. Although it doesn't look like that's any of them. Okay. Wow, that is a bummer. Okay, I guess we are going to have to start over. So, I am unashamed to say that I usually just duplicate the tab and come back in and fill what I already had. So, we had Russia in E3, and I think we had the whole first row. So, Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Montenegro, Croatia, Slovenia. Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina. This was Montenegro. And then we have Croatia and Slovenia. Croatia, Slovenia. Okay, great. We had Belgium and Czechia in row 2. Okay. Row 3, we had Bulgaria and Germany. Okay. Row 4, UK and Belarus. Russia, of course, is where we start. And then I think that we are all caught up. Well, we know that D4 is not Switzerland. Okay, now we're back to having 18 minutes, and this is our second try. So let's see what else we can figure out. This quiz contains 3 former Soviet countries which form a diagonally connected chain. So Russia and Belarus are already together in a chain. So we know that it either goes to D4 or it goes to C1, but I'm not sure that we know which way it goes yet. Right now we know that the European island nations form a diagonally connected chain, and so that has to go UK and then E2, D3, and we're not sure if it goes to C4 or E4 after that. This doesn't have to start with a B because none of the European island nations start with a B. We still have Cyprus, Iceland, Ireland, and Malta to figure out. We know that no countries in column 3 are landlocked, and we know that Italy is not in this quiz. Okay. We also know that row 2 contains only row B contains countries that border Germany. And so this right here is a country that borders Germany and is not landlocked. I think that we have too many of those left because we still have Denmark, Poland, the Netherlands, and I think that that's it. Oh, and France, of course. So we still have too many possibilities for what could be here in spot B3. The Alps mountain range runs through 3 corners of this quiz. I don't know if that helps us. We could see if any of the post-Soviet states have the Alps, because that could mean that it goes down here in E1. really don't think so. Austria, France, Germany, Italy, Liechtenstein, Monaco, Slovenia, and Switzerland. And post-Soviet states, we have Belarus, Moldova, Russia, Ukraine, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. So I don't think that helps us. I mean, we know that this is not a former, we know that this is not the connected chain between Belarus and Russia, but we still don't know if that goes to C1 or if it goes to D4. Actually, our post-Soviet states don't have any capital cities beginning with the letter B, which means that it can't go here in D4. So our Soviet countries have to be 1, 2, 3. We know that no countries in column 3 are landlocked, but that doesn't help us because we're in row 3, not O. Although we also know that no countries in row C are landlocked. I'd forgotten about that one. So maybe only a few of these former Soviet states are landlocked fully. Sorry. I got that mixed up. It's not landlocked. And I'm worried that there are too many countries that are not landlocked. I mean, Latvia is not landlocked. Estonia is not landlocked. Lithuania is not landlocked. So it seems like it could be, I don't even know if Moldova's landlocked. Where is Moldova? Moldova, oh, it's very close, but it is landlocked. So I think we're left with Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. Could go here in spot C1. I'm not sure if it's worth guessing anything. We got Switzerland wrong last time, and I don't want to have to start over again. I think that all logic puzzles can be solved without having to guess. So I feel like I should be able to figure out what the next place is. But nothing is coming to mind as something that we're missing just yet. As something that I'm not able to figure out at this point. So maybe we actually should have guessed Switzerland in spot E5 because it has a capital city with a B and it is part of the Alps. We've already used Germany. Italy's not in the quiz. We've already used Slovenia, right? Yes. So I think that Switzerland actually has to be an E5. I was really close. Okay. This country's official languages are French, German, Italian, and Romansh. Well, that doesn't help me figure out anything else at all, which is really not fair. I was hoping that would help unlock something else for me. So now we figured out Switzerland, so there's only one more whose capital city starts with a B. And I actually think something that could help is that it we know that it's not post-Soviet states, but we already knew that none of those started with a B. So I think we still have too many because it could still be Romania or Hungary. Have I been able to rule out either Romania or Hungary? No. I don't think so. it might be time to just guess one of those. C3 does not start with the letter R, so that was helping us rule out Romania here. So maybe it's Romania here. Oh man, it is probably Hungary right there. Let's just go ahead and find out right away. Wow. So how was I supposed to figure out that that was Hungary? I don't know if I have any other hints that help me get that, but I think I should be able to have figured something out. Okay. Oh, I was in the wrong box. Okay, that one shouldn't count. I'm gonna say we're still on attempt number 3. So this was Switzerland. And we just figured out that this is Hungary. C3 was Germany. A1 is Serbia. Then Bosnia and Herzegovina. Then Montenegro. A4 Croatia. And A5 Slovenia. Okay. In the B, all we have still is Belgium and Czech Republic. We also figured out Bulgaria and Belarus. I know the UK is right there. And I think that means we are all caught up. Okay. So 3 countries in this column are Nordic countries. So the Nordic countries are Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Iceland, as well as the Faroe Islands, Greenland, and that is pronounced somehow special, Åland, I'm going to say, a land. So the good news is that this should help us because the only one of those that borders Germany is Denmark. And we know that, this was our old one. We know that the B row contains all countries that border Germany. So this right here has to be Denmark. Row E contains the countries bordering the Barents Sea. Okay, let's see if we can find the Barents Sea on the map. Oh, wow, the Barents Sea is all the way up here. Bordering countries of the Barents Sea. It looks like that's Norway and Greenland. Oh, so it's Russia and Norway. And so we know, where did those say they go? Row E contains the countries bordering the Barents Sea. We also know that Norway is a Nordic country, and so I'm going to go ahead and put Norway right there. Columns 2, 3, and 5 each contain one country bordering the Black Sea. So let's see. Let's just switch this to black. Bulgaria, Romania, Georgia, Moldova, Russia, Turkey, and Ukraine. Okay. Bulgaria, Romania, Russia, Moldova, Georgia, Turkey, Ukraine. And where did it tell us that was? So we already have Russia here in column 3. We also need one in column 5, and we also need one in column 2. Do we have Bulgaria or Romania in column 2? We have Bulgaria. Okay, so column 2 is covered. So I think column 5 is just the one where we need a country bordering the Black Sea. Were any of these any of our island nations? Cyprus, Iceland, Republic of Ireland, Malta, and the UK. I don't think so. So that doesn't help me figure out if it goes in C5 or D5. Actually, let's see if we can follow our island nation chain. So it starts here in D1, and it has to go to E2. It has to go to D3. It has to go to C4. And to keep up the diagonal, well, it could go to B3, but that borders Germany, so it can't go there. So it has to go to D5. So the country that borders the Black Sea has to be here in C5. Okay. Can we figure out any of our other hints? We finished with this hint here. We haven't finished with this hint, but that doesn't help us with C5 because, of course, it's not landlocked because we know that it borders the Black Sea. All countries in row B border Germany, but I still don't think we have anything to figure out B1 or B3. Three former Soviet countries, which form a diagonally connected chain. We still have Russia, Belarus, and then it has to go to C1. But we don't know which one it could be. We don't have Slovakia in the quiz. No countries in column 3 are landlocked. We know that, but we still have a lot that could go here. This is not a hint. This is not a hint either. Row E contains the countries bordering the Barents Sea. We already have that figured out. Oh, here we go. Okay, we should be able to figure out C4. We should be able to figure out C4 because we know that it's a Nordic country because we have 3 in this column, and right now we only have Denmark and Norway. And we know that it has to be one of our island nations because E2, D3, C4, D5. So the Nordic countries are, it looks like it's going to have to be Iceland. So C4, we're going to type in Iceland. Okay. No countries in row E or column 5 start with the letter M. So that means that of our capital city, of our 5 European island nations, this one can't be Malta. So Malta either has to go here in D3 or it has to go here in E2. And what else did it say? Row E can't start with an M either, which means Malta has to be here in D3. Okay. 2 countries in this row share a land border. Okay, so that means that Hungary has to border because it can't be Malta or the UK. Well, do Hungary and Belarus share a border? Let's find out. Hungary and Belarus. No, they don't. Okay. So the other hint that we had about row 5, column 5, is that it probably has to border the Black Sea because we don't have that yet. So 2 countries in this row share a land border. In this row. Well, then that means that this has to be Ireland because Ireland and the UK are the only 2 island nations that share a border, and we know that our island nation diagonal has to continue here. So let's type in Ireland. Okay. Ukraine and Moldova are not in this quiz, so that's going to help us narrow down our former Soviet chain. But let's add in our last island nation here, which is Cyprus. Okay. The Rhine River does not pass through the country in B3. Let's look up a map of the Rhine River. Look how helpful this is. Okay. So it borders Germany, but it doesn't go through any of these countries. Okay, so let's see. Countries with the Rhine River. Switzerland, the Netherlands, Germany, France, and Austria. So, what else borders Germany that we haven't used yet? Did I say the Netherlands? Yes. So, I think that means it has to be Poland, because we've already used Czechia. We know it's not any of these. We've already used Denmark. I suppose it could be Luxembourg, but I think that we are going to take our chances with Poland. Okay. The countries with the first and fourth largest populations in Europe are in the same row. Russia's number 1, so it also has to be here. I happen to know that that's France, and so I think that this must be France, but we also know that the Alps mountain range runs through this corner. So let's make sure that goes through France. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add France to E1. The country in B1 comes alphabetically before Liechtenstein. So this is still a country that borders Germany, and alphabetically it has to come before Liechtenstein, which means it's not Luxembourg. Where's our map up here? Up here it is. So it's not Luxembourg. We already used France. We've already used Belgium. We haven't used the Netherlands, but that is alphabetically after Liechtenstein. We've already used Denmark, Poland, Czechia. So I think our only option is Austria. Okay. Turkey and Greece are not in this quiz. Okay, so we only have 2 left. This one here, we know that it is a former Soviet state, and it's not landlocked, and we also have eliminated a lot of hints from it. But I don't know if that's enough to help us. Let's see what else we know about column 5. We know that this is not landlocked. We know it's not Ukraine, Moldova, Turkey, Greece, or Slovakia. We've already used this one up. We've used this. We've used this. 5 European island nations. We're also done with that. I think that the one we still need here is bordering the Black Sea. So if we can come up with a country that borders the Black Sea and it's not one of the ones in that list. Bulgaria, Romania. Okay, so we've eliminated a lot of these. I don't know that Georgia is a part of, it's definitely not a part of the EU. So I think that means that it has to be Romania because we've eliminated all of those. So let's come here and type Romania. Okay, great. Now we know that C1 doesn't border Belarus. So C1, it is not landlocked. It is part of the former Soviet states chain, and it's not Ukraine, Moldova, Turkey, Greece, or Slovakia. So let's see. Former Russia, we have Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. Oh, I don't think that helps us at all. Oh, yes, of course, it doesn't border Belarus. So that means that it has to be Estonia. Ah, amazing. The little hint that we got was, I bet your coworkers won't believe you're this smart. Book a private event and prove it. Okay, well, we successfully finished the quiz. I guess it took us about 3 tries, as long as you don't count the one where I was typing in the wrong square. So thank you so much for joining us. We were exclusively in Europe this time, but maybe next time we'll take on either the United States, or we can try one of the whole world ones. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry if you had figured out any of the hints and were just waiting for me to catch on. That's happened to me sometimes, and it drives me crazy. So hopefully you were able to relax with this and learn something new. So thank you so much for watching, and